Students, let's continue with this week's objectives. Previously, you have learned about computer memory. Computer memory is the storage or space used to store the information, instructions, and data. It is necessary, computer memory is necessary for the functioning of a computer system. Now, the Zoom application that you are using, first you have installed it into your mobile phones. If there were not enough storage space, you would not be able to install that into your mobile phones, because your mobile phones have enough storage space. So you are now able to use this application, and this application is functioning, your mobile phone is functioning very well. So for the functioning of a computer system, CPU plus memory both plays a vital role. Computer memory is classified into primary and secondary memory. Primary memory has direct access to the processor. Secondary memory has indirect access to the processor. Primary memory is further classified into cache and main memory. Cache is the fastest type of memory used to store the information that is used by the CPU frequently, and it acts or it works as a buffer to store temporary data between the processor and the main memory. Then what is main memory? Main memory is the type of computer memory that is directly accessed by the CPU. It allows the processor to quickly fetch and execute the commands stored in it. Then main memory is classified into RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory, ROM stands for read-only memory. Let's go with the RAM and ROM. Are these today's objectives? Main objectives are RAM and ROM, because the rest of them you have learned previously. Now I have just given a revision on this. Now let's start with the RAM and ROM. RAM memory, the main memory of the computer, is called RAM. RAM stands for random access memory. It consists of several integrated circuits. RAM consists of ICs, several ICs, and RAM is connected to the CPU. It is used for the quick storage of information during the execution of the program. It stores the data during the execution of the program. That data is used. The information is stored in RAM memory temporarily. It means that data that is stored in RAM that is not permanent, that is not permanently stored, that is stored temporarily for a very short time. Only for the time of execution it stores the data, and it is lost when the computer is switched off. When the electricity supply is interrupted, or electricity supply will not reach to this computer, then the RAM will not has its data, it will lost the data. It means that the RAM is dependent on the electricity supply. If the electricity power supplies to the computer, it retains the data into it. If the electricity power does not supply, then the RAM lost all the data that was stored in this. Due to this nature, this RAM is also called as the volatile memory. Volatile means the same thing. That volatile means that you need your electricity supply to retain the information or instruction. If the electricity supply does not supplies to the computer, then it will not retain the information in it. The size of the RAM is about 4 GB. If we compare RAM with the ROM memory, ROM is another part of main memory, then RAM is about 1000 times greater than ROM memory. Let's go towards the ROM memory. Students, when you start up a computer, in the starting point, you need ROM memory. In the starting point, you see that whenever you turn on your computer, there sometimes appears loading. All the data is loaded from the ROM memory. Whatever the instructions are needed in the startup, that is executes from the ROM memory and that is stored in the ROM memory. They are saying that it sets the devices so they are ready for use. It says sets the devices. For example, your monitor is there, your CPU is there, printer is there, keyboard is there, mouse is there. They all must be ready for use. The instructions that are given to these all devices, that instructions are stored in the ROM memory and that is loaded from the ROM memory in the startup. These commands cannot be stored in RAM. These commands these commands that is needed in the startup of computer, it cannot be stored in RAM. Why? Now the answer is here, because they would be deleted when the power supply is switched off. For this purpose, we use a different type of main memory called ROM memory. Students see they are saying that if the instructions or information that you need in the startup of the computer, if you store it into the RAM memory, then RAM memory has the nature to lost the data if the electricity power does not supply to this. We need these instructions. So for the storing of this kind of instructions that is needed in the startup of computer, we need another type of memory, another type of main memory that is called ROM memory. रोम मेमोरी ऑपरेट्स इन द सिमिलर वे टू रैम. रैम और रोम में इतना खास डिफरेंस नहीं है. दे आर सेइंग दैट इट ऑपरेट्स इन द सिमिलर वे, दे ऑपरेट्स इन द सिमिलर वे, बट one very large difference is there, with the difference that the content are permanently stored, not lost when the power supplies are interrupted or when switching off the computer. They are saying that ROM has a nature that it will retain the data, it will stores the data, either electricity power supplies to it or no. It is not dependent on the electricity supplies, but RAM has a nature that it is dependent on the supply of electricity. If electricity supplies does not supplies to the RAM memory, then it will lost the data, but ROM will retain the data in every situation, either electricity power supplies to it or no. It does not has any kind of interruption of it does not lost its data when there is interruption of electricity supply. There is one more feature of ROM, that its content is stored when it is manufactured and not lost or changed. However, this feature contains a problem. If there was a problem with the program from the time of manufacturing, there is no way to fix it. It is saying that at the time of manufacturing, in the beginning, if your ROM memory has any problem, then it will not has any other way to be fixed. Later on, it will remain the same as forever. So it is a kind of disadvantage of ROM memory as well, that it will there will not be any way to upgrade the size of the memory, or you fix the problems that comes further. ROM is installed on the motherboard. The capacity is fixed and does not usually exceed 4 MB. They are saying that ROM is installed on the motherboard. If we compare its size with the RAM memory, it will not usually exceed 4 MB. Let's move towards the homework or worksheet. Students, now see here, this is your this week homework. For RAM, random access memory, answer the following question. What is it used for? Answer will be like this, that the RAM memory is used to store the information or data temporarily to be used by the processor while the system is running. At that time, the data is fetched from the RAM memory and it stores the data temporarily. That's why it is also called as a volatile memory. What is its capacity? Its answer will be like this, that it's about 4 GB. What happens to the data it contains when the power is interrupted? When the power is interrupted, then all the data is lost that was stored in the RAM memory. For ROM memory, answer the following questions. What is it used for? ROM memory is used firstly it stands for read-only memory, and it is used to store the information or data permanently. It is non-volatile memory. We call it non-volatile memory because it retains the data. Either the electricity power supplies to it or no electricity power does not supply to it. This data is stored the data stored in the ROM memory is stored at the time of manufacturing and cannot be you cannot bring any changes later on. It will remain forever. If there was any problem at the time of manufacturing, it will remain the same as it was, and you cannot upgrade the size